What's good, people? What's good, people? Big Rich here from the Big Rich Live on the Mic Radio Show, and welcome to our new show called the African American News Hour. Yep, we here. We're gonna try to do it. Basically, let me explain why I'm doing this, and let me explain how it's gonna be different from What's the Real Deal and the Big Rich Live on the Mic Show. The Big Rich Live on the Mic Show is a lot of your questions, and it's delving in deep to things that happen, to the African American community, what's going on. Anytime I can get my expertise and all of that type of stuff right there, we'll go over that. What's the Real Deal will be tackling one or two specific issues, questions, or whatever. And then basically for an hour, probably not an hour, like 45 minutes, 42 minutes, I'll give my opinion for questions that you guys ask. This one is basically going to be more of a news show. So we're going to have many topics, and I'm going to try to keep my soliloquies down to a minimum, and just like dude used to say on what was that? Dragnet, just the facts, ma'am. So, we'll talk about that. We'll also have segments of Black Facts, This Day, and African American History. I'm actually going to have to expand it to this week because we're only going to do this show once a week, Monday, it looks like. I apologize to all of the people who will miss and have said that they're going to miss the movie review, and maybe I might pick that up. Maybe what I'll do is the movie review is when I go to a movie, then I'll do a show, so I don't necessarily have to do a show every week because we're busy. I'm busy, the wife's busy, shoot, this weekend I got a photo shoot and I have something else to do Saturday. I can't remember. I gotta look at my schedule. Plus I got 2 shows that I got to do, and then my wife's going to be out of town, she's going to visit our daughter. So it won't be any movie going, so it's been like 3 weeks. This is the 3rd week in a row that we haven't had one. So I was like, you know what? Instead of sitting around here and trying to get the African American news off the floor and continue to push it back and push it back and then push it back, well, why don't I go ahead on to at least temporarily, if not permanently, take this slot that is used for, or that was used for, the movie review show, and make this platform's Monday show. This probably be like up late Monday, early Tuesday, and stuff like that. But I will get it together. As far as like I know I've been saying that for months, right? So we'll talk about that. But again, this news is a specific Black. Anything good, bad, and ugly. Even when we screw up, I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to give my brief opinions, because there's a lot of misnews, fake news. There's a lot of lies and propaganda going out. And when I say lies and propaganda, I don't necessarily mean that this is being told. There's a lot of stuff that we just don't know. Not only us as a people, but Caucasian people, Native American people, Spanish American people, Hispanic, they don't know. So if you don't know something and you're being bombarded by negativity or deliberate omissions, then you start believing that type of stuff. You follow what I'm saying? I was talking to a partner of mine earlier today, and we was talking about Fox News, right? I know I have a few Fox News, listeners and stuff like that. I have a few friends that all they watch is Fox News, and unless you've been under a rock or you have not done your own research, Fox is just full of lies, false truths, half truths, deliberate omissions. I was wondering that, that whole dynamic we were talking about the wolf and sheep, the people who are on Fox News, the contributors, the analysts, the owners, the producers, they're all wolves. And the vast majority of their readership, their viewership, are sheep. What does a sheep do? A sheep does one thing and is used for two others. All a sheep does is go through its entire life grazing. That's it. That's it. Grazing. You know, procreation, okay. But grazing, that's it. They don't build, they don't learn, they don't do anything. All they are is herded. They graze, they herd. They're used for their hair or their fur, if you want to call it, or meat. You know, so the question was, well, what if Rupert Murdoch died? God, please. But anyway, what if he dies, and let's just say one of his children, you know, decides to have a brain and do their own research and was like, you know, we've been really screwed up. You know, we're going to start telling the truth. We're going to explore and take the veil off of white privilege and white supremacy. This is what we're going to do. There will still be, excuse my friend, there will still be a contingent of people who will not believe them because they'll think, oh, they just saying this because they daddy dead, or they got corrupted by the liberals, whatever the hell a liberal is anyway. You follow what I'm saying? So it's that sheep mentality. So what I decided to do was, hey, just give you some facts. You know, give you some facts, and then you decide what you want to do. You decide how you use the facts. You know, I'm always for debates. Anybody can come on Twitter. Twitter is at Dark Shadow Media. Is it TV? No, it's Dark Shadow Media. Okay, on Twitter. I'm there 24/7. Chop it up. You know, if you can show me some facts, like we're going to go over something that won't be in this show, but we went back and forth about white supremacy, and a white gentleman identified himself as white, and he had asked me, could just white people be racist? I haven't answered him yet because I just saw the tweet as I come live on this show, and I'm not going to give it here. I'll discuss it on the Hump Day show for what's the real deal. Sorry, Big Rich Live on the mic. There is a answer to that question that a lot of people are upset about, but when you hear the answer to that and then the facts behind it, unless you just want to just be that sheep, unless you just want to keep your head in the sand, you can see why the answer is that. You feel me? So we'll see what needs to be done, and we'll get it on and popping, and we'll go from there. You feel me? We'll go from there. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I have my notes and stuff here. You can see them all here. You know, all is here. So we did our research and stuff like that. We're gonna go over this story. So the first story is about a American tourist, 22, beaten to death on a Greek island. 8 suspects were arrested. Now, this 22-year-old African-American male was over there for a photo shoot. You know, he's a photographer. He was graduating from college. He was on vacation, and he was just shooting. Okay. Things coming out, and I'll read the story, but I'll just say things are coming out that, you know, it was over a girl or something like that, but we'll read the story and we'll go from there. It says, an American on a Greek island vacation after graduating from college was beaten to death by a mob, and 8 people have been arrested in the case. This is what police says. Greek police said Saturday that the arrests of the beating death of Bakari Henderson, 22, of Austin, Texas, including 6 Serbian nationals. Henderson suffered fatal head injuries in a beating early Friday on the island of Zakynthos. He was in a bar with friends. The bar location is a tourist section known to be frequently rowdy behavior for young foreign tourists. This is what the Associated Press released. Police detained the Serbians after viewing surveillance videos. This is what the French press reported Saturday. A Greek barman, 34, and a 32-year-old British bouncer of Serbian origin was arrested Friday. This is what the AP report. The beating may have begun with an exchange of words. A police source said that the argument involved someone setting their drink down on a table occupied by a different group. I can't even pronounce his name. Karamini, an Indian language Athens news outlet, reported. Outside the bar, the group of Serbians patron allegedly attacked Henderson, threw him into the road, and started punching and kicking him, the paper reported. The mayor of that Greek town told the outlet that multiple officials and police officers just met about cramping down on alcohol-fueled brawls. Henderson graduated in May from the University of Arizona with a degree in business administration. This is what KOLD TV reported. As you can imagine, our family is devastated. This is quote, as you can imagine, our family is devastated by the recent loss of our beloved son, his family said in a statement the Washington Post reported. Bakari loved spending time with family and friends, traveling and meeting new people. He was a big thinker and enjoyed coming up with new business ventures. Bakari was an inspiration to all he met. He loved life to the fullest. University of Arizona also issued a statement of condolences to the Henderson family. Quote, our hearts and prayers are with his friends and family. The president of the college, Mr. Robbins, said, I can only imagine the deep sense of loss they must be feeling for the untimely death, and it is always a tragedy when a young life ends before it is really yet begun. Well, like I was saying before when I read the story, the word on the street, if you will, is saying that, you know, he was taking pictures while he was on vacation. He was at this bar. He had met, you know, a female who, you know, was, I don't know, European descent. Let's just say that. European, I don't know if she was Greek or Serbian or whatever. And then words was exchanged and an argument ensued. First I'll say on this is you have to always stay focused. You know, I know a lot of people make this a black-white thing, and it very well may be. Who knows? It very well, because other rumors were that this mob was hunting refugees, you know, because, you know, the massive influx of Muslim refugees from Syria, from Lebanon, that type of stuff right there. And then, you know, that happened. I don't know if that's true or not. I can only report what's coming over the wire. But what I will say is you have to be focused. Always remain vigilant and focused, no matter where you are, especially when you are in a unfamiliar surroundings, when you don't have your people. You know, friends is one thing, but one would ask, if he was in this bar with so-called friends, then why the hell he got the brakes beat off of him to the point where he's dead? Where was his friends? You know what I'm saying? It would be a situation where it would say, well, this mob jumped on this smaller mob and then his friends tried to save him, which they very well might be. I mean, I could sit up there and say that maybe they thought his friends were females and, you know, how they was going to jump on him. I mean, if you Google and look at the footage of these clowns being led into the jail, you know, after they was arrested, they all look like, you know, cowards. And let me tell you something. This is the deal. This is the deal. And what I'll say before, the reason I say that is because, you know, I was bullied once. I was robbed once. Remember I told anybody who's been with the channel for the year that has been here, and I don't know why you haven't been, but I did say I was robbed. So I was robbed once, but I was bullied once, you know, some bitch named Gregory McQueen. They called him the Terminator later on. Come to find out he was a hitman. He wound up getting killed. So, you know, I know I shouldn't say this, but, you know, I found out where he was and pissed on his grave. I just messing with you. Anyway, bullies only screw with you when A, you're a soft target, B, when you're alone, and C, they feel that there's no ramifications. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule. You could just be just a crazy sumbitch. I know a lot of people have friends that are always the smallest, the shortest, the tiniest, but they always the most shit talking and will get their ass beat on a regular basis, but they still always the one that you don't want to mess with them. Be like, man, shit, I got tired of kicking his ass. I don't want to be fooled up with him or her any longer. But this was a tragic incident. We're going to look at it and, you know, keep following up on and see if it's some white supremacist type views or any type of racial views that came on. But you got to stay focused. No matter where you are, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big guy, right? But I also understand that if somebody wants to come and talk shit to me, my first, let's say I'm with my family, my first instinct is to protect my family and let's get us out get us out of that scenario. Now, if you put your hands on me, you know, I got to fight my way out and move on. But if we just talking shit, or I'm in a bar or something like that where I'm outnumbered, you know, I'm in another country, get your ass up and leave. You know what I'm saying? That's just the thing. And we also have to realize that we're in a different time today. You know, and I say different time, but if you think about the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s here in the United States, and still now in certain places of this country that you go to, you walk in the door and the lights come on and the music stop because you the only black person ever step foot in there, that type of stuff, or Asian person or whatever it might be. It's time and then turn around and haul ass. Or you, not that you're expecting trouble, but you have set yourself up for a situation that you can't really win unless you just some John Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris type, you know, Three the Hard Way, you know, Jim Kelly type kung fu person, or you just got 100 guns and you just that bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so not to make light of this, you know, sometimes we got to look at things and take a step back and be like, you know what? This might not be the best place for me to be. So let me unass this place and work it out, you know, and try to do it some other time or go somewhere, some other place. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel about that. Let me know, you know, on the comment section what you think. You know, if I'm full of shit, then say I'm full of shit. But if you're going to say I'm full of shit, just make sure that you put why I'm full of shit, you know, and not because I say so. You know, people actually say that. They actually saying you full of shit. And I'll be like, well, why am I full of shit? Because I said so. Oh, okay. Anyway, next case is unfortunately hitting right in my old backyard. Anybody who don't know about this channel or don't know about me, I am a retired police officer from Orlando Police Department. Been there 23 years. Just retired last November. So I have still a lot of friends and associates within the organization. But today we find out that, or actually yesterday it comes out that Black State Attorney Amaris Ayala racially profiled by white police officers. I'm going to read it and then I'll give my low 2 cents as far as that's concerned. First of all, Amaris Ayala is the first African-American female to, period, not female, first black person to ever win and be appointed to the state attorney's office in Orange, Osceola County. And if you don't know her, I don't know why, because she just was removed from 23 cases by our governor, Rick Scott, because she said that she will no longer go for the death penalty on cases. And then she tries to give her opinion or her reasoning why. And to me, it doesn't really hold water. I feel that if this is what she wanted to do, that's fine. She should have made that known when she was running. But she knew that if she had said that during the primaries, if she had said that during the election, she would have never been elected. Yes, there's a lot of African-American, there's a lot of Haitians, and there's a lot of Hispanics within Florida, but a lot of the Hispanics in Florida are Cubans, which lean towards Republicans. This is still a conservative state. It really is. And they wouldn't have taken that. They would have taken it as she's being soft on crime, if you will. So what I will say is I have no love for Amaris Ayala, but I'm not going to say that was wrong, but there are certain things that we as African Americans of means, we of the conscious community have to be like, okay, I might disagree with you on here, but I have to be there. I have to be your ally when you are being screwed, if you will. You know what I'm saying? When you are damaged or trying or looks like you're being damaged by white supremacy, you know, we have to stand up and be like, hey, there's no love lost about this person, but this person is being railroaded, and we need to stand up and make sure that people know it and yell from the highest peaks, mountaintops, buildings, you know, statues, whatever. So I'll read this here and then I'll give, my 2 cents. Miss Ayala is one of the most powerful people in the state of Florida due to her position as state attorney. However, Ayala's position did not prevent her from being racially profiled by police officers. While driving in Orlando, Florida, Ayala was pulled over by 2 white male police officers. In a show of force, both officers approached her vehicle as one stood on the driver's side, the other one stood on the passenger side. Ayala had not done anything illegal while driving. Okay, this is when I give my 2 cents about being a police officer. If there's 2 officers in the car, both officers will get out. If there's 1 officer in the car and then he has a backup officer that comes up behind him and gives him a back, both officers will get out the car. Both officers wouldn't go on the left side, which is the driver's side. Both officers wouldn't go on the right side, which is the passenger side. It's a safety issue. So the fact that there was 2 officers in a car, or if it was 2 officers, one was in the primary car who initiated the stop, the other one was in the second car, which is a backup position, they would have both went on either side. So that is not really a show of force. That's a safety issue. You follow what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, believe it or not, a person who's driving is so fatuated, so fixed to the officer coming up along their left side, which is the passenger side, which is the driver's side, they don't even know that there's somebody on the right side. And we do that for a reason. So if anything jumped bad, that person doesn't know that you have back. Or if the person is, while they're looking at you, they're moving. Let's just say they're looking at you out your window and they're using their right hand, which 80% of the world is right-handed. They're using their strong hand to rummage through and grab something. I, as the backup officer on the right side towards the rear, I can see it and I can call it out. Therefore, you don't get shot, stabbed, blown up, or whatever it is like that. So that itself really, I just felt that was not ignorant. I'm not going to call it ignorant, but and ignorance is not knowing. But that was just not a good statement to write. Okay. When Ayala handed one of the officers her ID, he recognized her as the state attorney. Ayala then began to question the officers on to why they stopped her. While stuttering a bit, and you can see this if you go online and Google the stop, because the primary officer had a video and a mic, so you can actually see the stop. So you can see that they were sort of stuttering. It said that the officer claimed that he pulled her over because he ran her license plate and the place did not come back registered to anything. The officer claimed that he also pulled her over because her windows were too darkly tint. However, he stated that he didn't have a device to measure the tint level. Okay. For a long time, we've had cops nationally, but I can only speak for, knowledge, speak for the Orlando Police Department. We've had computers in our cruisers, I want to say 10 years. I want to say 10 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. And then we got the authorization and the option to run tags, vehicle tags on our own. So we don't have to use teletype, because you got to think about it. If you have 350 officers, because this is like close to 900 officers. So let's just say 350 of them actually on the road at one time. It is almost impossible, especially when you're dealing with rush hour traffic. You dealing with a lot of people who are out and about. It's really hard for you then to wait on teletype and wait your turn and all that type of stuff. Because the thing is this here, when you pull over somebody, you have no idea who that person is or what they have. They know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they're going to do. They know exactly what they have in their particular car. Again, I'm not justifying this. This is definitely racial profiling, but I'm just trying to explain how it is that they can run your tag. I think that people are going to continue, officers are going to continue to, what I feel, abuse this tool, okay? And it's going to get taken away. It is going to take it away. Things are going to change with this, with this pullover. Now, there's something called a first part crime and a second part crime. I'm trying not to get too technical, but a first part crime is something that I see that you do while you're driving or you're walking that I can immediately initiate a stop. That's called a Terry stop. That means that you are temporarily detained. You are not free to go until I continue and finish my investigation. Others are what they call second part crimes, which, like seatbelts, used to be a second part crime, meaning that if I see you driving around and you have no seatbelt on, I cannot pull you over just for that. When you cannot prove that somebody is doing something, like you cannot, it's different now with the texting. But before the texting laws came in, you could not prove that the person was texting when you saw them. They could have been picking up the phone. They could have been MapQuest or whatever it is like that. So you could not pull them over solely for that. So she said, they say, well, we ran your tag and it comes back to nothing. Now, that's either true or not. I don't know, because I'm no longer active police officer, so I have no way of checking that out. So I don't know what that is, but I do know what I've done in those cases is I immediately stay behind the person. I call it in on the radio, because teletype has access to things that we don't have access to on the road. So I called, and it might be something similar to such and such teletype rolling this, that, and the third. I'm not going to give the signs out. I'm just not. Then they would be like, okay, well, this person is rolling, this person behind somebody. Then everybody else gets put to the side, and then they'll run that particular tag just like that. And then they'll let you know. So maybe that's something that they should have did. That's something that I would have did. I would not have pulled a car over solely on that. And from the way that the officer was talking, and then following that up with, oh, and your tent looks or your windows look darkly tint. Well, that's a second part crime. You follow what I'm saying? So you can't pull somebody over for that anyway. Now, what you can do if you running, if you run like certain units, training and experience, they can pull you over to check that. But if you pulling somebody over because you are authorized to do that, you damn sure better have a tent meter on you. So you throw out something that may or may not be true, but you have no tent meter to prove that it's true or not. You got a problem with that. Okay, I'm not going to read it all, but I just get it. And it says, Ayala eventually asked the officers to give her their business card, but they wrote down their names instead. Since becoming, said that, I already said that. Okay. Ayala has yet to respond to being pulled over by police officers, but it reveals how blacks of all levels can face harassment and racial profiling. It's a fact. It might not be a fact in this case, but it is a fact that racial profiling is prevalent in law enforcement. It is. It just is. It's something that, and it's not officially taught. Let me tell you something. I'm old. I'm 49. I've been a police officer 23 years. I started in 1992, right? But in the academy, I wasn't taught like that. You wasn't taught to do that. When I was in field training, I had 3 of the best field trainers out there, and they were all different. They never taught me that way. They never taught me to do stuff like that. When I was a trainer, I was a field training officer. What that means is once the recruits get out of the academy, they go 30 days, 45 days in orientation where they sit down and they learn exactly what it is to be a cop at that particular agency. Then they come out and then they are systematically put with 3 different trainers, and then the 4th go round, they come back to the first trainer. So the first trainer will be able to see how the person has developed from their training to other training, and now they come back to you, right? I never taught that. I never allowed that to happen. Then I got a lateral move to be the training coordinator, which put me above or over all the field training officers department wide. And all of the new recruits to come in, we didn't teach that type of tactics and stuff like that. These are things that people learn from other officers. A lot of them are not trainers. A lot of them are, you know, he or she is the cool person on the squad. So whatever they do, I do, you know, monkey see, monkey do, that type of stuff right there. So I, you know, because, and I know a lot of people might get mad, but because of the affinity that I have for, you know, for my department, I'm willing to give them the benefit, not the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but what I will do is I'll give them a chance to prove me wrong. Let the investigation come out. We'll see what happens from there, right? Cool. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. Now we get to some ratchet stuff. Okay, we gonna have some ratchet stuff. It's news, like I told you, good, bad, or indifferent. We're gonna go over it. We're gonna go over this Blac Chyna and Rob Kardashian fiasco. Now, the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's news. It's something that people need to understand and deal with the fact that when you make a deal with the devil, when you lay down with fleas, excuse me, when you lay down with dogs, you're going to get fleas. When you make a deal with the devil, you're going to get burned. This chick, Blac Chyna, I'm not even going to get into her lifestyle and how she was raised. Her mom was a hoe and all. I'm not even going to get into that. All I'm talking about is this, quote unquote, is it revenge porn or not? I've always had a problem with that because I'm a voyager. I love visual. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love you. If you dating a female, and I don't even date female, but if you dating a female and she has a nice body and she wants to send you pictures, then she send you pictures. But I also feel that those pictures belong to me once you send them to me. But I still don't feel that just because they belong to you, it is right for you to put these pictures out of the person, whether the person is a stripper or whether the person hurt you or whatever. You can look at this situation and realize there's no way that she ever loved this guy. She just looked at it as a come up. And I say that because you remember my simp video. You know, I was dating somebody who I felt, and I feel to this day, dated me only because it was a come up, not because she gave a fuck about, excuse my French, gave a damn about me. It was a come up. And then when I started pushing to be like, well, hold on now, this, that, and the third, she had the shit to get off the pot. And I had to push her off the pot because then it was finally coming out that she never really gave a damn about me anyway. So that's the situation here as far as that's concerned. But I bring this up to say this. This brings up the whole swirl, or this brings up interracial dating and all of that type of stuff that comes up. I've interracially dated. For one period in my time, I dated nothing but, you know, white women, you know. I have learned so much from that. You know, I understand where I need to be as a black man. I understand where I need to be as an African-American king and how I need to represent my people, my community, the kids, not my kid, because I have a child, but the kids that are coming up, there is a responsibility that I have to have. But I understand, or now understand, that if you choose to go down that road, a lot of times you're going to go down that road, not only for your own peril, but you're going to go down that road by your damn self. So now you have people, there is a civil war, if you will, and I don't want to, maybe I'm just embellishing that much. Maybe it's not like that, but there is a war within certain factions within the African-American community that is like, well, you know, he's doing this, you know, he has her this way, you know, he said racial things about her, you know, you need to basically cape this. And it's funny, my wife hates when I use slang words, but you need to jump on her side solely because she's African American. He's Caucasian. You know, he want to say Albanian, but Albanians was the original Caucasians. Look it up. No, I ain't got nothing for you. I don't have nothing for you at all. Period. You on your own on this, girl. You on your own. I mean, it was a come up and you screwed it up. You know what I'm saying? You did. You screwed it up. I mean, you had him the way you needed him, and then your own vanity, you know, screwed it up. But you know what's funny is now all of a sudden, now think about it. When this first jumped off, she allegedly put out a picture of his fat ass. And then she posted pictures of her laying in the bed with some other bum ass dude, right? Who ain't shit. I mean, really, he ain't got no bread. He ain't shit, right? Then TMZ catching her on the side of the road. She talking mad stuff. Now, all of a sudden, now she's devastated. Now she's devastated, and she's granted a restraining order against Rob Kardashian. One time she even said that he hit her. Oh, really? So this is when I reach deep in my back pocket, I grab a flag, and I throw what I call the bullshit flag. Because that's exactly what it is. I don't believe not one word she said. Do I believe that he's an asshole? Yes, he's an asshole. He's a bum. He is a dummy. He is the black sheep of the family. I mean, think about it now. Blac Chyna, and I hate to get into this, but this is news. Blac Chyna dated a dude that used to be his sister's boyfriend. Really? 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 But if you look at Rob Kardashian ain't shit anyway. I mean, he can't pull that. But anyway, it is what it is. But I'm going to read this a little bit and then we're going to move on. It says Blac Chyna was granted a restraining order barring Rob Kardashian from coming near her or posting about her online. The reality star my ass, appeared in court Monday morning with her attorneys as she sought to stop what she alleged is cyberbullying by the Kardashian. Kardashian posted personal information last week about his relationship with Chyna on his Instagram account, including sexual explicit images and of his former fiance, who he accused who accused attorney Robert Shapiro. Okay, accused. Where is it? I'm sorry. Who he accused of cheating on him and using him for his fortune. He ain't got no fortune. That's another thing. Everybody sitting around there talking about she gonna get this, she gonna get that. Rob Kardashian don't have a freaking dime. Not a quarter. Kris Jenner, let me tell you something. That chick is the super pimp. She pimped all her girls till they was able to, because think about it. Name one thing positive, one thing that her girls did. What type of talent they got other than some of them look pretty good, the rest of them, But she parlayed that into something that they worth millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars as a family. Rob Kardashian don't have a job. He don't do shit. So what kind of bread he getting? Kris Jenner gonna sit around there with all her lawyers and be like, okay, this chick ain't got shit going for her. We'll go ahead and take and raise the baby. Or if she begs and pleads, because again, what type of shit she got? She got no money. She got no money. I saw something that said her worth, but I didn't look at it. I should have. She got no money. But this is the thing here. This is funny. There's a picture from Instagram. I'm hoping to get it, so it should be up there, but it probably won't be. But if I can find it, I'm gonna put it up. But now she's sitting there looking like she on the Good Morning America show. She all covered up. She just looking there all like, woe is me. That's the same chick on TMZ that was talking about how black she is and how much of a bad bitch she is. Really? Give me a break. So, you know, I'm not capable for you. You decided to lay in that bed, baby girl. So you're gonna have to deal with that. It's just what it is, and it's gonna get a lot uglier before it gets cleaner. Because again, if it was his bread, like let's just say he was doing what Kim's. Kim got her own bread. They all pool their bread, but Kim got her own bread, right? Khloe got her own bread. You know, if it was something like that, then I can say, okay, yeah, well, she gonna get some bread. She gonna get some money. And she very well might get some money, but it ain't gonna be nothing compared to what she could have got had she had hung out and played that card right. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so we're gonna move from that. We're going to talk about, we're gonna drop some facts now. All right, we're gonna drop a few facts here on here. The first one is today in Black History, July 10th. So all of these is gonna happen today, July 10th, and we're gonna go from there. The great Arthur Ashe, 1943, was born today. Anybody who know Arthur Ashe? Arthur Ashe was the first African American to make the U.S. Davis Cup, and he was the first one of African descent to win Wimbledon. And that was I can't. That was 1972. Sorry, 1972. Our first black mayor in New York, David Norman Dinkins, was born July 10, 2027. My fault. David Dinkins was the first and only black mayor in not United States, in New York City's history. It only lasted one term. It was a grease fire, but hey, this day in Black history. The biggest thing that I want to talk about is 1893, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. Dr. Hale Williams performed the world's first open heart surgery on a young man named James Cornish. James was rushed to the Providence Hospital in Chicago with a stab wound. Back then, blacks went to black hospitals, whites went to white hospitals, and if you was black and you needed to go to a hospital and a white hospital was right across the street, they would bypass the white hospital and go to the black hospital, even if the white hospital could have saved you and you would die en route. Actually, Richard Drew, who we'll talk about, I think that's next week, Richard Drew. Well, we don't even talk about that. But Dr. Hale was the first. You know, like you could look in the history books, even medical journals. Now, medical journals are different. They changed those. But in history books, Daniel Williams is never spoken about. Never. Never. The first open heart surgery was done by an African-American black man on another African-American and black man. And the wild thing is, when it was all said and done, James left the hospital and lived for another 50 years. The wild thing was that Dr. Williams was so enveloped in other stuff that he never had time, you know, to really put his stamp on it, to let everybody know. So Caucasian men later on, sometime much later on, they were given the designation of being the first. But what's great was the local newspapers had covered it, and then he was given his due. So this is the type of stuff that I always say, know your history and understand that what you see on the Discovery Channel and the Learning Channel and stuff like that is not always true. I'm not going to sit up here and call these people liars. I'm really not. But what I'm saying is, when you do your own research, which they pay hundreds of people to do this research, you should know this type of stuff, and this stuff should be reported on. Just think about it. How many times have you watched something on the Learning Channel about heart procedures and stuff like that? Have they ever said it? I've never seen it. I mean, I've known because I do my own research. I love history. I love African-American history. I love Caucasian history, you know, period. You know, from the dinosaurs, history. If you know your history, you are more apt not to repeat it. So there's a show called Impossible Engineering. It comes on, I want to say it comes on TLC or maybe Velocity or something like that. One of those, Discovery Channel, something like that. And I used to love that. And I still watch it occasionally. But what I find out is that a lot of this is based on old news, is based on lies, omissions. I tell you, I actually had to go back and look at these and see if they've ever shown some of these inventions that were done by African Americans. I've yet to find one. I want you guys to let me know in the comments section if you found it. So if you don't know what impossible engineering is, they'll say, let's just say they're talking about a nuclear carrier, okay? And what they do is they'll talk about it, and then they'll show you how advancements in the past led to this. But they always go back, I don't know, 100 years, 80 years, 100, 200 years, whatever it is. And they'll put up the name and the face of the person who is discovered this or made that or modified this to allow progress, you know? And it's always a Caucasian male. So I sit back and I was like, you know what? I can't even enjoy this because I know that a lot of this is based on false truths and just lies. I know this. So when you know that, you're like, damn, I'm being indoctrinated. I'm not being educated. I'm being indoctrinated to believe something that everybody and their mama know is false. So I don't know. I challenge you guys and gals to do your own research. I challenge you to figure out if what you're being fed is the truth. Are you the wolf or are you the sheep? Are you going to sit around and allow the media, the Board of Education, the government to dictate what you believe is true? Or are you going to go out and do the necessary legwork? And when I mean legwork, I mean that figuratively, not literally. Today, nowadays, with the internet, you don't have to leave your office. You don't have to leave your bed to find the facts. You feel me? So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit us up on Twitter, like, share, and subscribe this video, please. Subscribe to the channel. If you could do that for me, because it's each one teach one. If you can at least do that, subscribe to this channel and share this to your social media platform, I'd appreciate it. Those of you who have sent me, that are new to the channel, that have sent me, said that you love the show. You know, I had one young lady say that she doesn't have cable, so our shows, along with the Benjamin Dixon show, the Advised TV show, you know, Professor Truth, Jason Black, TBA, those, you know, Cynthia G, a lot of them give them their news that the mainstream media acts like never happened. So if you could do that for me, I sure appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter. What did I say? Yeah, Dark Shadow Media. Also, if you want to email your questions, comments, and you don't want to put them on the bottom where the comment section is, you can email us at capital A News 17. That's aanews17@gmail.com. That's aanews17@gmail.com. So I shall see you next week. I appreciate your time. Stay woke as always. Be safe. Be instructive. Be informed. Peace. I'm out.